A meeting in the store. Lily Collins never imagined that a simple errand to buy milk would turn into something that would upend her peaceful life. The corner shop on her street at 6 o'clock in the evening was usually packed. Yet today, an unfamiliar sense of unease gripped her more strongly than usual. With the last carton by Davidson in her basket, Lily headed towards the checkout lines, only to face long queues. People hurried home, exhausted after their workday. But for Lily, this only fueled the inner tension she tried hard to ignore. Choosing what appeared to be the shortest line, she joined it, unaware she was about to witness something that would make the past flood back in waves. At the register sat a new girl, Autumn. Her face held an unusual expression, eyes filled with concealed anxiety and silent struggle. Lily watched Autumn's every move intently. Suddenly, the cashier, clearly annoyed, pulled out a small piece from the machine and muttered angrily. A collective sigh passed through the line as some customers shifted to another counter. Lily remained near the front, observing every detail. For a moment, Autumn's face seemed to fade. Then a strange pattern appeared on it, resembling the static on an old television screen. Lily shivered. This odd image felt torn from forgotten childhood memories. In her mind came a vivid scene from a rural youth. Her grandmother, Grace Collins, had once chased a strange woman from the house, calling her possessed. The priest, Ignatius Parker, had been summoned, but was beaten by the woman. And then summer came to an end. Lily left for the city, and the story faded away. At the age of 10, she did not even understand the meaning of that word, and even now she could hardly explain it. She swallowed hard, feeling a slight unease connected to the image of Autumn. Perhaps the strangest event occurred when Lily noticed a pendant with mysterious numbers 1 and 3 on the cashier's chain. Autumn constantly touched it, as if afraid of losing it. At last, the cashier managed to finish with the cash register tape, and the line started to move. However, as Lily approached the counter, her sense of anxiety grew stronger. She hastily blamed magnetic storms, which usually affected her mood, but it did not help to shake off the odd trembling. When Lily placed the milk carton on the counter, the cashier touched the pendant, and a sinister spark flickered in her eyes. Suddenly, the woman pierced the carton with a sharp object, and the milk flowed in a thin stream onto the counter. Autumn nervously insisted it was an accident, offering to run and get a new carton, and promised to scan it without waiting in line. Lily watched this with amazement and indignation. Trying to regain composure, she said firmly that the cashier had pierced the carton herself. Autumn smiled slyly, silently fiddled with her pendant again, and declared she had no time for pointless arguments. The line started to murmur loudly, and overwhelmed by tension, Lily shouted out, "Definitely possessed!" Immediately after, she headed straight for the exit. That evening at home, Lily and her mother Antonia Valeria were going through old photographs together. Among the items, there suddenly appeared a black and white photograph that immediately captivated Lily Collins. She recognized a face remarkably similar to Autumn Zinar. It was the same woman, wearing a black headscarf, sitting next to her grandmother Grace Collins at the graduation. This discovery deeply moved Lily. She began questioning her mother, but Antonia Valeria just shrugged and insisted that no one in a black headscarf appeared in the pictures. Her mother recalled Grace's stories about a possessed woman in the village who had been accidentally photographed. However, neither her mother, her father, nor Grace herself had ever seen that woman again. She thought the tale was probably just a myth. Yet, Lily could not shake the persistent feeling that someone from their past was connected to Autumn. She told her mother about her visions at the store, but her mother took it as a joke and asked for help to find the pendant with the number 13, which once belonged to Grace. Without revealing the entire truth, Lily found the pendant beneath her bed the next day. Overwhelmed by strange emotions, she took it and went to the cemetery. There, near Grace's grave, she carefully buried the pendant, as if passing the family secret into eternity. After that day, Autumn did not appear at the cash register, but the image of the mysterious woman with the pendant and black headscarf stayed firmly etched in Lily's memory. She knew the story was only beginning, and much more awaited her ahead. Upcoming meetings with Nicholas Kuzmin would help her unravel the family mysteries. Darcy Volkov preserves the testimony of those events that seemed long forgotten but remain alive in the shadows of the past. The name Theophilus Ladislaus, a mysterious figure with a photograph, will increasingly intertwine with the fabric of this inexplicable tale. Unexpectedly, Lily Collins felt that a simple purchase of milk had opened the door to a realm where the line between present and past dissolves. She had to understand what it truly means to be possessed and not fear her anxieties. This encounter marked merely the beginning of a vast journey leading to revelations concealed behind the veil of time and memory. As night approached, Lily stood, sensing that everything in her life would soon change, and a new chapter was about to begin. The evening store greeted Lily Collins with its usual bustle. The post-work crowd flooded the aisles and counters. She placed the last carton of Davidson milk into her basket and headed toward the registers, where 2 long queues had already formed. Lily immediately remembered that after vacation she needed to be ready for such crowds. The habit of shopping in the morning had vanished during her break, and now she faced this inconvenience with displeasure. The second queue seemed shorter, and she quickly joined it. A sharp outburst from the new cashier, Autumn Zimmer, rang out when she pulled some part from the register, and the line became chaotic. Some shoppers jumped to a different checkout. Lily found herself near the front and carefully watched the woman. A flicker crossed Autumn's face. A strange flicker of instability appeared like static on a television screen. It flashed and vanished so quickly that Lily Collins could not grasp the nature of the phenomenon. A faint childhood memory surfaced in her mind. Her grandmother, Grace Collins, in the village, had sternly driven a woman away, calling her possessed. Later, the priest Ignatius Parker came to that woman, but she even beat him. Back then, in the summer, when Lily was still a child, she could not understand the words or their meaning. Now she felt that same inexplicable unease, as if something from the past was rising to the surface. Autumn kept fidgeting with a pendant bearing the numbers 1 and 3, which was starting to feel like Lily's mantra. It seemed to be her charm, or a kind of magical protection, nervously clutching it in tense moments. The cashier hurriedly grabbed the tape, fed it into the machine, and for a moment the situation stabilized. But as Lily moved closer to the checkout, anxiety gripped her heart once more. She tried to blame it on magnetic stores. Yet that inner unrest kept growing. Placing the carton of milk onto the belt, Lily noticed a malicious spark flash in Autumn's eyes. Brushing the pendant quickly, Autumn took the package and suddenly pierced it with a needle. Milk trickled out in a thin stream. The bag had torn. "Go get another one. I will ring you up without waiting," the cashier rushed to explain. Lily stood stunned, unable to believe what had just happened, and finally blurted out, "Did you poke a hole in the package?" Autumn waved her off mockingly and insisted that Lily fetch a new one, saying otherwise she could not help. The person standing behind began to murmur in frustration. Lily realized the last package really was sold out. She took a deep breath and thought, maybe fate was playing a cruel joke on her, just as Autumn had said. "Exactly, the mad one," Lily said aloud, sensing a fragment of that strange and elusive feeling stirred by the image of the woman in the black headscarf from her childhood memories. That evening at home, Antonia Valeria Collins was going through old photographs. Calling her daughter over, she pointed to a race film strip where Lily saw a face strikingly similar to the harsh Cashier. It was a picture from a century ago, taken at their family's graduation. The woman in the black headscarf Lily spotted in the photo sent a chill through her soul. She recoiled as if something inside trembled at the sudden encounter with the past. "Do you know who this is?" Lily asked, trembling from the unexpected emotion. Antonia Valeria squinted, pushed her glasses up the bridge of her nose, and shook her head. "There is no one wearing a black headscarf here." Lily's mother explained that her own mother often spoke of the mad woman from their village who supposedly had been caught on camera by accident and always appeared in all photos even though no one actually saw her. Neither Lily's father nor Antonia Valeria ever took those stories seriously. Lily tried to insist she had seen that woman recently by the register, but her mother only laughed. "Stop joking, Lily. I am too old for your games. Help me find the pendant your grandmother gave me." Lily stood still, feeling her heart race. She felt overwhelmed by the weight of new sensations. "Is that the number 13 on the pendant?" she asked quietly, trying to hide a wave of anxiety. Her mother was surprised, but Lily Collins quickly changed the subject. "I just guessed, Mom." However, deep down she realized the answer was far more serious than a joke. Their search for the amulet ended beneath Lily's bed, yet she never revealed the discovery. Secretly slipping the charm into her pocket, she made her way to the old cemetery and buried it by the grave of her grandmother, Grace Collins. The night seemed deep and mysterious, as if fate itself concealed many layers. Since then, nobody had seen Autumn Zimmer at the shop again, and the face of the frantic woman in the photo remained a haunting reminder that the past does not easily let go of the present. As each day passed, the events grew increasingly unsettling. Nicholas Kuzmin, a stranger passing by on one chilly evening, caught Lily's attention, with strange coincidences in local legends and tangled destinies. His stories featured mysterious figures resembling Theophilus Ladislaus and Darcy Volkov, witnesses of long-forgotten occurrences. These tales intertwined with the memories of Grace Collins and the arrival of the priest Ignatius Parker, whose shadows seemed unwilling to release their hold. Gradually, Lily began to perceive her surroundings as a reflection of those long-ago years, as if reality itself faintly trembled between two eras. She felt she had encountered something both thrilling and terrifying, a mirrored shimmer of the past, now demanding to be unraveled. a secret enveloping Autumn and her.
The mysterious pendant was only the beginning of a long chain of revelations.
Ahead lay many more questions, sought after answers, and intertwined destinies. Now Lily Collins understood that this was merely the first step toward uncovering the truth. The upcoming chapters of this story would reveal a great deal, but the world would never be the same again. She couldn't help but wonder about the fine line dividing dark legends from reality, and how much remained hidden behind familiar faces and everyday events. The morning would bring fresh discoveries and new challenges.
The pendant marked with the number 13.
Lily Collins walked slowly into the store to buy some milk, unaware that this simple errand would trigger a series of strange and unsettling occurrences. She grabbed the last bag from Davidson and headed toward the checkout lanes, noticing the long lines of customers. The busy evening rush left no room for relaxation, and an old forgotten childhood tale came to mind about a mysterious woman who was called insane. Lily frowned, realizing that today things would not go as smoothly as they seemed. The line she chose appeared shorter at first, but within minutes trouble was in the air.
The new cashier, Autumn Zimmer, flushed red and on edge, suddenly yanked a component from the machine, cursing loudly. This outburst irritated the waiting customers. Some moved to another register, and Lily found herself near the front, watching the unfamiliar woman closely. Autumn's face seemed to distort, revealing a strange rush that looked like the static interference on a television screen. Memories of Grandmother Grace Collins Watts suddenly appeared. She once told stories about a village woman known as Possessed. The villagers called for Priest Ignatius Parker, but the woman beat him, and after that everyone cautiously avoided her for a long time. Back then, young Lily Collins could not grasp the meaning of these tales, and over the years the eerie story faded into the background until today, when it unexpectedly came back to mind while shopping. A pendant marked with the numbers 1 and 3 flickered before her eyes. The same pendant Autumn constantly fidgeted with, as if shielding herself from something unseen. At last, the cashier fixed the cash register, and the line began to move. Yet with every passing moment, as Lily edged closer to the counter, an unsettling feeling grew stronger. She blamed it on magnetic storms and her own inner anxiety. When a carton of milk was placed on the conveyor belt, Autumn's eyes briefly glimmered with a dark light, and clutching the pendant with the number 13, she suddenly stopped the milk carton with a sharp awl. Milk started to seep out. The sudden chaos and Autumn's hastened offer to bypass the queue and get a replacement product shocked Lily deeply. The cashier's toys sounded cold and annoyed, hiding something deeper behind her smile. Unable to accept what had just happened, Lily loudly called Autumn possessed, which stirred irritation among the customers and forced Autumn to leave the store. At that moment, old fears resurfaced inside her mind, accompanied by fragments of old village legends and hidden family secrets. One evening, while sorting through old photographs with her mother, Antonia Valeria, Lily Collins suddenly recognized the face of a woman in a dark headscarf sitting next to her grandmother Grace Collins on a graduation picture that was over 100 years old. It was the face of Autumn Zimmer, mysteriously transported from the past into the present. Her mother tried to convince Lily that this was impossible,
insisting that no such references existed in their family chronicles and that such a photograph did not exist. She reminded Lily of her grandmother's stories about a possessed woman, but no evidence ever supported those tales. The conversation between mother and daughter only raised more questions. Antonia Valeria recalled how she had once accidentally found an antique locket in the pocket of her own mother's cloak, but then lost it. Lily quietly asked about the number 13 engraved on Autumn's medallion. Her mother responded with confusion, as if she did not understand what Lily was referring to, and asked for help to find the lost talisman, unaware of the secret it concealed. Silently, Lily placed the locket on her grandmother's grave in the cemetery, feeling the weight of the unknown. Since that day, Lily never saw Autumn Zimmer in the store again, yet her image lingered in her mind like a ghost from the old photographs. The thin line between past and present became increasingly clear to the girl. The locket bearing the number 13 transformed from a simple charm into a symbol of mysteries and secrets, provoking constant questions and fears. The feeling that someone was watching her every move never left Lily, neither by day nor by night. The past, family legends, and the unexpected encounter created a complex turmoil deep inside Lily's soul. A tangled web of doubts and mysteries awaited her unraveling. What connection linked grandmother Grace Collins, the cashier Autumn, and the enigmatic Theophilus Ladislaus to recent occurrences? Why did the pendant, marked with the number 13, hold such significance? Who was behind the eerie presence troubling the villagers and shadowing Lily Collins through the folds of time? Answers slowly emerged, but appeared only in fragments, leaving room for future revelations. This quest had already caught the attention of a passerby named Nicholas Kuzmin, who unexpectedly offered Lily assistance in exploring forgotten family archives and local legends. Together with Darcy Volkov, a witness to past events, they intended to delve deeper to uncover the truth buried beneath centuries. Secrets of the past intertwined with the present, and their discovery was gradually surfacing, yet remained unpredictable. Lily understood she could not retreat. At stake was much more than mere milk or an accidental puncture of a package. The pendant bearing the number 13 was a key, opening a gate to a world of the mysterious and unknown. She was to cross that threshold to learn what the old family history concealed and who truly was the mysterious Autumn Zimmer. Thoughts about the upcoming investigation stirred her imagination and hinted that what lay ahead would change life forever. In this enigmatic knot of past and present, a new story was beginning, destined to become part of Lily Collins's life. The unfolding events promised to be extraordinary. These times were unusual and filled with challenges. The moment arrived when answers had to be sought in the most unexpected places, while fear and doubt gave way to determination and an inner call to action. With this thought in mind, Lily Collins prepared to take her first step into the unknown, anticipating the upcoming trials and surprising discoveries. An unforeseen event at the checkout proved that unpredictability in small moments can be stunning, especially when a routine purchase turns into a scene of strange happenings. Lily Collins entered the store to buy some milk, confident the task would be quick. She placed the last package of milk from the Davidson brand into her basket and headed towards the counters, only to be met by long queues. Memories of her vacation faded away amid the street echoes of 6 in the evening, as crowds flood stores after work. Choosing the shortest queue she could find, Lily joined it, though a growing unease troubled her mind. Suddenly, by the register, where Autumn Zimmer, a new cashier with a flushed face, was working, she snapped and cursed aloud while pulling a mysterious item off the conveyor belt. The line erupted with noise. Some customers shifted to another checkout, and Lily found herself in the front ranks. She watched closely as Autumn changed the conveyor, unintentionally noticing a strange flicker cross the young woman's face, resembling static on a television screen. Lily's eyes briefly shut, and distant childhood memories surfaced. When her grandmother, Grace Collins, a wise and stern lady from the countryside, used to tell stories about a possessed woman whom the priest Ignatius Parker had come to expel. Behind the counter, a pendant flashed with the numbers 1 and 3, which Autumn nervously fiddled with as if her calm depended on it. Finally, the conveyor belt started moving again and the line resumed. Yet with every step closer to the cashier, Lily's unease grew without clear reason, until it surfaced when she placed a milk carton on the belt. The cashier's gaze, usually cold and unreadable, suddenly ignited with a strange flicker. Autumn touched the pendant again, then somehow, in a baffling motion, pierced the milk carton with an awl. The milk slowly seeped out in a thin stream and chaos erupted. "Oh no, your package tore!" Autumn exclaimed, swapping the damaged carton for another. "Please go get a new one. I'll scan it out of turn." Stunned, Lily stared at the cashier, doubting whether this was mere coincidence. "You did this," she whispered in a trembling voice. The register became alive with murmurs of disapproval. Behind her, impatient voices buzzed. Autumn simply snorted and repeated that Lily had no choice, warning if she failed to bring the milk back, she should count herself lucky. Lily allowed herself to call the girl possessed aloud, catching an irritated, almost cruel smile flicker across Autumn's face. As she left, she glanced back once more at the pendant, emblazoned with 13, as if something ancient and sinister had woven itself into this story. Later that evening at home, helping her mother, while sorting through old photographs with Antonia Valeria, Lily Collins came across a black and white picture from a century ago, featuring a group of graduates, among whom stood a woman dressed in black with a headscarf. Her heart skipped a beat. The woman's face bore an astonishing resemblance to Autumn. "Do you know who this is?" Lily asked her mother with concern. Antonia Valeria squinted, trying to make out the details, then shook her head with a faint smile. "There is no one in a black headscarf there, my dear. You have too vivid an imagination." Their mother recalled stories told by her own mother about the mysterious woman from the village, who had been the subject of frightening tales and supposedly appeared on various ancient photographs, although no one in their family had ever seen her or found proof. Despite this, Lily could not calm down. The story resurfaced with renewed intensity. Fear mixed with genuine curiosity inside her. She thought about the pendant with the number 13, an item that had disappeared from a store, seeming to connect the past and the present. Early the next day, her mother found her own old pendant, lost several years before, and asked Lily to help search for it. When the pendant was discovered beneath the bed, Lily silently slipped it into her pocket and later took it to the cemetery, hiding from her mother the sudden suspicions that had arisen. By chance, she met Nicholas Kuzmin passing by and shared her thoughts. He revealed that he had heard similar rumors about the mysterious woman and an ancient priest named Theophilus Ladislaus, who was connected to village legends. An old photograph and Darcy Volkov stories confirmed that a mystery from the past was resurfacing and intertwining with her present life. Lily understood that this tale was merely unfolding. Behind it lay not just coincidences, but deeply hidden family secrets and ancient enigmas. As night fell, her thoughts began to whirl. The event at the cashier's place took on an increasingly mystical aura. Lily felt her path was leading toward uncovering her grandmother's story and the very possessed woman whom Ignatius Parker once tried to expel. Something significant awaited her ahead. Perhaps the key to the puzzle was concealed in old pendants and ancestral tales. An unexpected encounter with Autumn and her strange behavior at the cashier's desk was just the beginning of serious changes in the Collins family's life. The next day promised new revelations and meetings that would completely transform Lily's understanding of her family legacy and the mysteries from the past. Ahead lay a rendezvous with Darcy Volkov, unraveling the knots of legends, and possibly the final confrontation with the mysterious cashier, who turned out to be far from a random figure in her fate. What secrets does the enigmatic pendant with the number 13 hold? Will Lily succeed in solving the family secret that she has become entangled in? All answers remained in the future, yet excitement and anxiety held the heroine captive. Words sparking memories. Lily Collins never imagined that a single word could shake her memories so deeply and awaken long-forgotten fears. In the evening, while standing near the neighboring cash desks, she heard Autumn Zimmer, the new cashier. The cashier at the store muttered gruffly, "You are not going to be like that same mad woman." That phrase pierced her mind sharply, awakening a flood of memories she had long tried to suppress. At that very moment, Lily Collins held the last bag of Davidson's milk. Behind her, the noise of two queues stretched through the rush hour. She was sure she had picked the shorter line, yet this choice soon turned into an unsolved puzzle. Soon Autumn angrily cursed, tearing apart a part of the machine as the line shifted between two registers. Lily, standing near the front, noticed a strange flicker cross the woman's face, like a television screen breaking up with bad reception. Instantly, memories surfaced of how Grace Collins's grandmother once chased away a woman called the Mad Woman in their village. That bitter story about the priest Ignatius Parker, whom the woman bit, felt distant, as if it belonged to a different world. Lily was barely 10 then, and barely understood the meaning of that cursed word. Even now, it remained a mystery, yet a tender scar in her soul. The cashier's hand, Autumn's, seemed to hesitate, sliding over a pendant with the number 13, as if drawn by it. Lily struggled to contain the growing anxiety, with every step closer to the register. The pendant appeared to be a charm, or secret the woman herself feared to reveal. When the cashier finally fixed the machine, the lion sighed in relief, but a lingering sense of unease refused to fade. When the milk carton slid onto the conveyor, Autumn's eyes ignited with a strange fire. Suddenly, the woman pierced the package with a thin awl, and milk began to flow in a steady stream. At first, Lily Collins was bewildered, but then she whispered in shock that the cashier was the culprit behind the incident. The reply came sharp and cold. "I have nothing more to do here," Autumn scoffed. "So will you go get another or not?" The crowd pressing behind them was relentless. "No," Lily answered quietly. "That was the last carton." Silence hung for a moment before Autumn calmly stated, "Consider yourself lucky." Lily's heart tightened when she boldly uttered a word that burned her throat. Bewitched. There was no turning back. She had to carry this burden deep within her soul. That evening at home, Antonia Valeria sifted through old photographs. With a fluttering heartbeat, Lily spotted a face on one picture that made her uneasy. The woman wearing a black kerchief was the very same one she had seen by the register. The tension gripping her and the trembling of her hands gave grave importance to this discovery. Her mother, however, shook her head slightly, denying the reality and dismissing it all as childhood fears, flights of fancy, and family myths. Antonia Valeria recalled tales told by her own mother, Grace Collins, about the bewitched woman from the village, who kept appearing repeatedly in old photographs, though no one ever truly saw her. Ignatius Parker and local witnesses like Darcy Volkov had long since passed away. Their stories seemed mythical, yet Lily could not forget them. The pendant, engraved with the number 13, inherited from Antonia Valeria, stirred a deep sense of unease within her. She handled it carefully, almost as if it held the secret to a hidden mystery. Yet Lily Collins kept silent about her discoveries, while assisting her mother in searching for the pendant. When she secretly slipped it into her pocket and took it to the cemetery, she felt an undeniable connection between the past and the present. Lily realized that the answer lay deeper than just a story about a clairvoyant woman. Beneath the cold earth not only rested the remains of legends, but also the key to unraveling the enigmatic life of Autumn Zinger. In the following days, Lily did not encounter Autumn in the store, although the image of the woman in the black headscarf haunted her continuously through the photograph. She repeatedly revisited her grandmother Grace Collins's memories, thoughtfully rumination on the incident from the day before. Now Lily understood that solving this mystery required both courage and assistance from others. That is why she decided to approach a random passerby, Nicholas Kuzmin, who was well known for his ability to find answers to the most unusual questions. The story of the clairvoyant and the pendant numbered 13 was destined to continue, and Lily prepared herself for new revelations that could dramatically transform her understanding of family and reality. The road ahead promised secrets concealed within the depths of memory and old photographs, waiting to be decoded. The secret of the old photograph. Lily Collins cautiously examined an ancient photograph in the family album when her gaze suddenly fixed on the mysterious silhouette of a woman. Dressed in a black headscarf, memories of the strange cashier who had recently spoiled her milk bag surged back with renewed intensity. Something deep inside prevented her from brushing aside that image, as if an invisible bridge connected past and present. Antonia Valeria, Lily Collins's mother, noticing her daughter's curiosity, joined in examining the photograph. She squinted, trying to recognize the faces in the black and white picture, and said that the woman in the black headscarf was not there. Instead, the photograph featured her grandmother, Grace Collins, and a few other acquaintances. When Lily asked her mother to find and confirm the image of the cashier, her response was cold. These are just fantasies and old village tales.
Lily felt the tension rise within her. Memories floated up of her grandmother Grace's stories about a possessed woman whom Ignatius Parker, the priest with a long grey beard, had driven out of the house. Those tales were full of mysteries and fears, coming alive in the girl's soul. She clearly recalled how her grandmother called the mysterious figure possessed and spoke of Ignatius being bitten. Yet her mother insisted these were nothing but myths. In Lily's heart, a growing conviction took hold that there was a connection between the old photograph and the recent encounter with the cashier, Autumn Zimmer. Autumn was not merely a person with a cranky nature and an odd habit of fiddling with a pendant shaped like the number 13. As it turned out, this pendant would play an important role in what was to come. That evening, while discussing the discovery with her mother, she tried to understand why Antonia Valeria so firmly denied what seemed to be obvious. A wave of mistrust washed over the young woman, but her fear of family secrets grew even stronger. She recalled how her grandmother Grace Collins once whispered to her about Theophilus Ladislaus, a mysterious figure from the old village times who, strangely enough, also appeared in their ancestral story. Despite her mother's stubbornness, Lily Collins decided to keep searching for the truth. She knew she would have to meet Nicholas Kuzmin, a random passerby and expert in local legends, who might help untangle the web of mysteries. Crossing paths with Darcy Volkov, her grandmother's old neighbor, Lily gathered new memories and testimonies that gradually formed a complete picture. Autumn's strange smile, her constant touching of the pendant, and the unusual unfriendly gleam in her eyes were no longer just quirks of character, but signs of something much deeper and mystical. The young woman felt growing anxiety and determination inside herself, because the discovery could change not only her life, but the entire family's understanding of the past. Immersing herself in the study of family archives and conversations with those who remembered Grace Collins and the priest Ignatius Parker, Lily began to realize how elements of legend came alive in the present, and there was no escaping them. Her journey was only beginning, but the first steps had been taken, and now she faced the task of revealing secrets shrouded by centuries of silence. Lily felt how the past, it felt as if something was pulling her forward, urging her to examine every detail and every symbol closely. In the pendant adorned with the number 13, in the faded photograph, and in the people she had met, everything was connected. It was only a matter of piecing together these fragments like a mosaic to reveal the full picture and to understand the role played by the enigmatic Autumn. As Lily Collins left her mother's room, she sensed an unwelcome presence of something ancient and mysterious that made her heart beat faster. She already knew challenges awaited her, yet her fear was overshadowed by curiosity. This was the moment for her to step into a world where reality and legends intertwined into one story. The conviction that passing down family secrets held immense power never left Lily. She realized
that to unravel the mystery involving the cashier at the store, she needed to discover the truth about Theophilus Ladislaus and his connection to Grace Collins, along with the roles of Ignatius Parker and Darcy Volkov. Their stories appeared like threads, hiding the key to the puzzle. Night was closing in faster, and Lily was preparing to embark on a path that could reveal betrayal, secrets, and astonishing revelations. Storms of confusion roared in her mind. Memories of the incident with the packages and the cashier's mysterious glances cloaked her life in riddles that were only beginning to emerge. The farces of these events drew Lily ever deeper. It turned out that by merely touching the old photograph, she understood that the mystery it held was not singular but multiple. Everything she encountered was just the beginning. No matter where life would take her next, the answers awaited in the shadows of the past. With this in mind, she concluded the evening once more, gazing at the photograph and sensing that the solution was near. Yet, to reach it, not only courage, but also the aid of unexpected allies would be necessary. She understood that the path ahead would twist and turn, filled with trials and mystical revelations. However, traversing it was essential to complete what had been begun and unveil an ancient family secret. This was far beyond mere coincidence. It was a challenge that Lily Collins chose to embrace. Before her unfolded a new world, where every character, detail, and glance held meaning, and past and present intertwined into a pattern demanding to be fully deciphered. Ahead awaited an encounter with the unknown, and a chance to alter the course of her own story. The Secrets of Grandmother Grace Collins. That evening, as Lily Collins sat in her room, sorting through old family photos alongside her mother, a strange sensation swept over her. Among the black and white images, she suddenly noticed a familiar face. A woman in a black headscarf, whom she had recently seen at the store. It was Autumn Zimmer, the very cashier whose anxious smile and constant fidgeting with a pendant bearing the number 13 had lingered in Lily's mind. Barely restraining a sigh, Lily asked her mother, Antonia Valeria Collins, if she knew anything about this woman. Her mother replied she could not recall anyone wearing a black headscarf in those photographs, but went on to tell her about Grandmother Grace Collins, the keeper of ancient family legends. According to Antonia, Valeria's grandmother, often recounted the stories about a possessed woman from their village. That strange tale remained nothing more than a legend from the past for a long time. Suddenly, old memories came alive in Lily Collins's mind when she heard about the priest Ignatius Parker, who once volunteered to heal this woman. According to the story, during the ritual, the woman beat Ignatius, and ever since, many people were afraid even to mention her name. Lily pondered how closely family and history are intertwined, how many mysteries each object and every face in an old photograph holds. Even more intriguing were the names Theophilus, Ladislaus, and Darcy Volkov, witnesses to events that seemed like an unbearable weight of secrets, yet also an essential part of her own story. With every story her mother shared, Lily learned details she had never known before. It turned out that her grandmother Grace, despite the charm of village life, had always been wary of that particular story. as if fearing to awaken something strange or someone unknown. There were no clear explanations, but an aura of mystery hovered over their lineage. Lily remembered how Autumn at Cassa's had been persistently touching her pendant, and the closer she got to Cassa, the stronger the tension was, along with an elusive sensation of déjà vu. Antonia Valeria warned her daughter that dwelling on old memories was unwise, and that time heals and scatters fears. Yet Lily felt this was exactly the moment to uncover what long had been forgotten, and to seek out the truth. The truth lies hidden in the shadows of stories and the ghosts captured in photographs. In one of those pictures, Lily Collins spotted the mysterious Theophilus Ladislaus, a man who seemed to have stepped out of a different era, yet somehow connected to their family's secrets. This man was very reserved and enigmatic, safeguarding stories that were never spoken aloud. Lily decided to seek help from Nicholas Kuzmin, a passerby who turned out to be an expert in local history and a fan of gathering urban legends. Together they ventured through archives, old houses, and abandoned cemeteries in search of any traces that might prove the existence of that restless spirit. The fascination with fading echoes of the past, the climax of mysterious tales, and Lily's determination reminded her of the power of memory and the need to listen to the voices of lost times. With each step of their search, Lily found herself immersed in a world where reality and fantasy intertwined in the most intricate ways. Every new discovery, whether an outdated diary, a faded letter, or a mention in village chronicles, added new layers to the picture of the past. Darcy Volkov, a witness from those days, spoke of strange events many chose to ignore. Their accounts revealed unexplained phenomena and emotions that no one could fully understand. Increasingly, Lily wondered, could Autumn be more than just a cashier? Could she carry a piece of these stories absorbed through centuries? Her strange behavior, the pendant she wore, and her sudden mood swings felt deliberate, as if a shadow of that very possessed spirit dwelled within her. But why did it emerge at this particular moment and place? Why did such a wave of unease overwhelm her, fueled by the whispers of the past that refused to fade from her mind? The answers were both near and unfathomably distant at the same time. One crucial event was when Lily Collins, while helping her mother search for a lost pendant bearing the number 13, unexpectedly discovered a similar piece beneath her own bed. This finding only deepened the mystery, making the secret seem darker and more terrifying. At night, she dreamed strange visions where her grandmother Grace Collins and Ignatius Parker struggled against the darkness. Autumn appeared sometimes as a ghost, sometimes as a living presence. These dreams seemed to urge her towards a solution, and Lily felt strongly that she stood on the edge of something significant and unknown. Her mother tried to calm her, insisting these were mere fantasies and that her grandmother had been just a highly emotional woman. Yet, day by day, Lily realized that the tale of the possessed was not just a myth, but part of their family code, waiting to be deciphered. Nicholas Kuzmin and Darcy Volkov became guides through this strange realm, where past and present, the mystical and the mundane, love and fear intertwined. Lily understood that finding the truth would require more than digging into archives and hearing old stories. She would have to confront her own fears directly. The mystery surrounding Autumn Zimmer was only the tip of the iceberg.
The tale of the possessed woman, Grandmother Grace, and the priest Ignatius gradually wove into a complex pattern full of secrets, betrayals, and hopes. As Lily delved deeper into these stories, her old life no longer seemed possible. She felt ready to move forward at all costs, because the link between past and present promised to unlock a door hiding mysteries beneath layers of burden. Perhaps soon she would confront forces long attempting to make themselves known, while Autumn Zimmer might turn out to be very different from how she first appeared. This journey along the tangled paths of family legends was only just beginning. Together with the support of Antonia Valeria and new acquaintances, Lily prepared to unravel Grandmother Grace's secret truths, buried between the lines of old photographs and ancestral mysteries. Ahead lay astonishing discoveries and surprising meetings that would challenge her understanding of reality and belief, pushing her to see beyond ordinary life. The road to truth had just opened, slowly rising above fresh events. The next chapter of this unusual saga promised to plunge Lily even deeper into the past, unveiling new riddles and revealing that family secrets are not only a burden, but also a power capable of changing fate. Encounters with neglected ghosts from history, Autumn's unexpected role, and the revelation of the true meaning behind the pendant engraved with the number 13 guarantee unforgettable happenings. This is the path Lily will follow, leaving everything behind. A sense of safety from the present moment allowed a glimpse into the secrets awaiting revelation. News arrived from the priest Ignatius. Life's unpredictability often delivers the most bizarre surprises, and one of these was waiting for Lily Collins in a seemingly ordinary grocery store. The shop appeared to be caught in the usual bustle of the evening rush, yet the atmosphere carried something indescribable, as if the lingering shadow of last summer tried once again to interfere with her current affairs. Just moments before, Autumn Zimmer, the new cashier, with a tense gaze and a pendant marked with the number 13, had disrupted the lines with her irritation. Lily increasingly felt that this simple shopping trip was turning into something strange and close to the unexplainable. Stepping outside, still holding in her mind the scenes from the store counter where milk had spilled in a thin stream after an accidental puncture of the carton, she headed home. Her thoughts kept returning to her grandmother, Grace Collins, to her stories about a mysterious woman called the Possessed, and to the priest, Ignatius Parker. Grace seemed most afraid of these tales, as though they awakened something long forgotten and hidden under dust within her soul. Lily firmly resolved to uncover the mystery that had unexpectedly deepened thanks to these strange events and figures from the past. The next day, while walking down an old street, Lily accidentally met Nicholas Kuzmin, an elderly man with perfectly composed manners and a warm smile. His gaze appeared wary, yet it held a spark of wisdom that reveals a person who has endured far more than words can express. The conversation began. Nicholas shared that many years ago, not only ordinary villagers lived there, but also those intertwined with something mysterious and unseen. Among them stood out Ignatius Parker, a priest who once had to perform an exorcism on a woman branded as possessed. Nicholas explained that Ignatius' story was far from simple.
The churchman was not only a spiritual guide, but also a guardian, maintaining balance between the visible and invisible worlds. One day, a woman named Autumn Zimmer arrived in the village. At that time, no one truly knew her yet. People whispered about her odd behavior, a gaze that seemed to pierce right through, and a pendant marked with a cryptic number. Ignatius tried to help her through the exorcism ritual, but faced resistance from forces that appeared stronger than his prayers. Lily Collins listened intently to Nicholas, sensing how threads of the past wove together with the mystery she faced now. Every detail from Autumn's actions at the cash register to the appearance of the pendant with the number 13 took on new meaning and depth. She recalled how her mother, Antonia Valeria, dismissed tales of possession as mere superstition. Yet now Lily realized there was truth hidden beneath layers of time and denial. Nicholas added that to fully grasp what was unfolding, meeting Darcy Volkov, a key witness to the events of the past, would be essential. She retained in her memory the faces and voices from days long gone. According to Nicholas, Darcy was capable of sharing far more than mere rumors. Her family was intertwined with Ignatius, and those times when faith and fear merged, creating a unique atmosphere within the village. Upon returning home, Lily found her mother in the living room, sorting through old photographs. Grandmother Grace often mentioned that their roots stretched back to the era when magic and daily life coexisted side by side. In one photograph, Lily again noticed the mysterious face veiled in black and recalled how, as a child, she did not grasp what the word possessed truly meant. Now it echoed with reality, connecting to Nicholas's stories and what had occurred at the store counter under Autumn's watchful eyes. Despite her doubts and denials, Antonia Valeria chose to assist her daughter. She retrieved from an old jewelry box a pendant, which, she claimed, had been left to her by her own mother, and which Lily had previously found by chance. The number 13 on the pendant now seemed to embody more than just a digit. It symbolized a connection between past and present, visible and unseen. Lily tucked the pendant into her pocket, sensing that her life was about to change, and that the secrets preserved in her grandmother's recollections would surface. Meanwhile, memories of Father Ignatius and the woman he sought to expel increasingly appeared in conversations with Nicholas and Darcy. Lily planned to meet with Darcy soon, to uncover further details and finally unveil the mysterious tale that was both intricate and mystical. Every move led her to realize that times change, but the power of ancient legends remains alive in every forgotten myth and in each new light cast upon them. With each passing day, Lily Collins felt more clearly that the enigma of the possessed was not merely a story or chance occurrence. It was a key to understanding something greater, a secret circle linked to her family and a small town where every stone and glance hold memories capable of speaking and altering reality. The magic she once feared was now becoming part of her destiny. The next step was to find Darcy Volkov and hear the truth firsthand in order to comprehend how Ignatius Parker, her grandmother Grace Collins, and Autumn, whose pendant engraved with a mysterious number overshadowed a long fate, were connected. Approaching this new encounter, Lily sensed that something important was about to unfold. It was precisely in the shadows of antiquity and legends, at the border between past and present, that a real discovery began. Ahead lay secrets that would change her perception of the world and reveal the cryptic link between generations and the power reigning around her. Night approached, and the unknown beckoned, inviting Lily into the depths of history, where every face and clue marked the beginning of the next step, a step toward revealing the great secret. The enigmatic Theophilus Ladislaus, Lily Collins, entered. She went to the store to buy some milk, unaware that a simple errand would turn into an encounter wrapped in mystery from the past. While waiting in line at the checkout, Lily Collins noticed Autumn Zimmer, the new cashier, with an intense gaze and a peculiar pendant around her neck. It seemed she nervously fidgeted with the pendant, as if terrified of losing something precious. Lily, captivated by this gesture, watched closely as Autumn struggled to operate the cash register and then accidentally pierced the milk carton. There was a brief moment of confusion as milk began to trickle down in a thin stream. Even in that ordinary mishap, an unexplainable tension was present. For a fleeting second, Lily thought she saw a flicker across Autumn's face, resembling static interference on a television screen. Childhood memories flooded in like a restless tide. Her grandmother, Grace Collins, once spoke of a possessed woman from their village, whom her godfather, the priest Ignatius Parker, was supposed to exorcise, but she bit him and vanished from their lives with the summer rains. Back then, Lily had no idea what that strange word meant. Now it echoed loudly, like a cry from the depths of her memory. Several days later, while browsing through old photographs with her mother Antonia Valeria, Lily found a century-old picture showing a woman wearing a black headscarf standing among graduates, looking like a living spectre from the past. The face in the photo bore a striking resemblance to Autumn's. At first, her mother dismissed the photo as a fake, insisting there was no one dressed like that in the picture. However, Lily Collins knew this could not be mere coincidence. The similarities, especially the pendant's number 13, which her mother later searched for among old family heirlooms, seemed too significant to ignore. Memories of her grandmother Grace Collins and her stories sparked a thought. The mysterious woman in the photograph might actually be Theophilus Ladislaus, a name often whispered in the village as a guardian of secrets and a link between past and present. Theophilus was the one who wore a pendant bearing a number matching the 13 that appeared to be the key to unraveling events connected to Autumn. Nicholas Kuzmin, a passerby, unexpectedly helped Lily locate one of her grandmother's long-forgotten diaries, detailing strange occurrences and encounters with Theophilus. Darcy Volkov, an elderly neighbor, became another crucial piece of the puzzle. She recounted how many years ago Autumn suddenly arrived in the village, bringing fear and unrest. People called her possessed, and ignoring her presence grew increasingly impossible. With each passing day, Lily became more convinced that behind the ordinary appearance of a cashier lay something mystical. Her actions, no mere accidents, but manifestations of old, forgotten forces and destinies. It was as if engaging in a secret conversation between worlds, Lily began to realize that the connection linking her mother, and grandmother reached far into the distant past, and coincidences in life were simply expressions of unresolved mysteries. That evening, she quietly took out the pendant with the number 13 from her pocket, the one she had discovered beneath. She left the bed and walked toward the cemetery. There, near an ancient grave, she buried the long-awaited symbol of truth, hoping to close the door on a dark past. Yet, echoes of that story refused to fade away. The appearance of Autumn in the store marked only the beginning of a new mystery, waiting to be unraveled. As night fell, Lily Collins stood on the threshold of fresh discoveries, realizing that the past was far from dead. Stories, whispers, and photographs intertwined with the present, just like media, forming a complex pattern of fate. Each character in her life, from her grandmother Grace Collins with her legends, to the priest Ignatius Parker and the enigmatic Theophilus Ladislaus, began to take on vivid shapes, demanding answers. Now Lily was preparing for a meeting that would change everything, revealing what had always been hidden. A time of new secrets, hidden meanings, and unexpected alliances was dawning. Ahead lay encounters with truths that could alter not only her life, but the entire course of events. Lily was stepping into the unknown, leaving behind a story lost in memory, ready to disclose its secrets. The next move was no longer just a decision, but the leap into a world where the boundaries between past and present blurred. This was the beginning of a new chapter. The witness, Darcy Volkov. Lily Collins walked along a narrow, barely visible path toward Darcy Volkov's home. Her thoughts spun like a whirlwind after the strange encounter at the store and the mystery that now haunted her. The recently heard name, Darcy, became a key piece in the unfolding puzzle. She was the key to unlocking the mystery surrounding the figure of Autumn Zimmer, the ominous cashier whose behavior resembled something out of ancient, frightening tales. Lily understood that only a witness could shed light on the mysterious events in the village, and perhaps reveal the origins of the family stories, preserved by her grandmother Grace Collins. The door to the house quietly opened, allowing the elderly woman with keen eyes and a tired smile to enter. Darcy appeared as if she had carried the burden of a secret for many years, a burden about to be lifted. Instead of familiar threats or mockery, they faced a gentle plea for help. "You did not come here by chance, Lily," said Darcy, inviting her into a dark room filled with old photographs and books, written in the flowing script of the past. This was where the true tale of Autumn Zimmer's origin and her connection to the village legends began. Darcy picked up an old worn notebook and began to recount. Many years ago, a priest named Ignatius Parker lived in our village. People whispered that he possessed the gift to cast out evil spirits. But one day he encountered an unknown darkness, hidden behind the figure of Theophilus Ladislaus, a merchant and benefactor respected by all. Her voice trembled like an ancient house burdened by the weight of time. "You were warned about Autumn Zimmer for a reason. She descends from those who failed to banish the demons. It is her soul that binds the dark energy that creeps our land." I listened without blinking, feeling fear and curiosity blend into one sensation. As the story unfolded, it became clear that Grandma Grace was not merely a keeper of family secrets. She had witnessed events that no one dared to speak aloud. Darcy recounted how, as a child, Lily, upon seeing a cashier in a black scarf in a photograph, had in fact encountered a ghost, who seemed to remind them of an unfinished curse. Each detail fit together into a single picture. Autumn Zimmer was a person, yet also a bearer of a dark power that preyed on weaknesses and fears. You need to understand that the stakes are high, involving souls and the lives of all of us. Darcy sighed, her eyes shining with an unusual determination to reveal the truth. Their conversation was interrupted by a knock at the door. Standing outside was Nicholas Kuzmin, a local passerby, and someone who had helped solve many mysteries in the past. He brought old documents found in his grandmother's attic, mentioning names and events familiar from Darcy's stories. Among the papers was a record of a mysterious ritual linked to the number 13, and the pendant that Autumn always carried with her. The web of facts seemed unbelievable, yet every thread led to the solution of a historical and mystical puzzle deeply woven into the fabric of the village families. Darcy and Lily began studying the documents together. Their discussions were filled with details that shattered their previous beliefs about the past. It turned out that Theophilus Ladislaus was not only was he a noble merchant, but also a man who had tied his state to truly dark forces, for which he paid with his life and compelled the priest Ignatius to intervene. "This story was never meant to reach us," softly said Darcy. "Yet what time concealed now stands before us, and we must unravel it," replied Lily, sensing an unknown power stirring within her for the very first time. Their conversations began to resemble the work of investigators. Every tiny detail could become the key to salvation, while each new fact raised more questions than answers. Darcy recounted rituals that sought to banish the demon, ancient tones kept by Grace Collins, and how Autumn Zimmer always clutched a pendant engraved with a number symbolizing her curse. "You need to understand there is still hope," Darcy said, "but it depends on your resolve to reveal the truth and not falter when facing the abyss." Soon, Nicholas Kuzmin arrived at the house holding an old box that contained something connected to Autumn's fate. He recalled fragments shared by his grandmother, who had long passed away but managed to pass on secret knowledge. These findings grew increasingly valuable, forcing Lily and Darcy to decide whether to delve deeper into forbidden knowledge or retreat and leave the mysteries untouched. As Lily bid farewell to Nicholas, she felt herself standing at the threshold of something both tremendous and terrifying like never before. While night slowly fell over the village, Lily remembered the words of her mother, Antonia Valeria, and her grandmother, Grace. Their stories had begun to carry new meanings, and it seemed as if the village's heart was beating in the rhythm of long-gone eras, pulling along souls woven into legends. At that moment, she sensed that her journey was only just beginning, and she needed to unravel the mysteries that cloaked the past like a thick fog. Each night promised a fresh revelation and fresh challenges. Lily Collins realized that her meeting with Darcy Volkov was not merely a coincidence, but the start of a long voyage deep into a history she was part of. Now her primary goal was to piece together scattered fragments, overcome fear, and uncover the truth hidden behind the image of Autumn Zimmer. One last glance at the street where Nicholas Kuzmin had just passed
reassured her that nothing would remain the same. Tomorrow will bring a new day, along with fresh clues and challenges, she thought. She closed the door to Darcy's house, feeling the cold wind whisper forgotten names and secrets across the village. It was clear that many difficulties lay ahead, but destiny could not be ignored. Within Lily, clarity was already forming, guiding her toward answers hidden behind the veil of time and deep fears. Her story was only beginning to take its true shape, and soon everything would become clear. This marked the start of a new chapter in life where light and darkness come face to face, and faith in the truth becomes the only shield. Amid magnetic storms and inner turmoil, Lily Collins, walking through the numerous shadows of the evening city, did not immediately notice the strange feeling stirring inside her. A feeling started growing inside her. The store, once a familiar place, suddenly became a source of anxiety, as if an invisible force pulled her towards something distant and mysterious. The package from Davidson in her hands felt too fragile, almost reflecting the delicate nature of this day. A heavy stream of people clogged the narrow aisles, and Lily Collins, making her way to the checkout, involuntarily noticed the increasing noise and hustle. The usual sounds now felt unusually oppressive. Lines stretched before her, intertwining like living snakes. Lily chose which queue might offer her better chances of avoiding a long wait and settled for the first one, which seemed shorter. At that moment, Autumn Zimmer, the rosy-cheeked cashier with the forced smile, pulled off a part from the machine, causing a dissatisfied murmur in the hall. People, as if on cue, started murmuring, switching to other lines, and Lily found herself in Autumn's view, like an unwilling participant in a silent play. Her attention was caught by a pendant shining on the cashier's neck. The numbers 1 and 3 flickered, as if a sign awakening a strange thrill in Lily. The pendant seemed more than just jewelry, resembling an amulet carefully guarded, yet somehow frightening. Her finger trembled involuntarily when Autumn began fiddling with the cash register tape, and even the crowd around seemed to hold its breath. The tension inside grew. Long-buried memories from childhood suddenly resurfaced, vivid and frightening. Grace Collins, Lily's grandmother, once. She told her tales about possessed women from the village, and how once Father Ignatius Parke was summoned to calm some unknown force. The stories seemed distant and like fairy tales, but now everything in Lily Collins' memory sounded like a warning. The checkout counter turned into a stage where a drama unfolded that Lily could not put into words. The milk carton neatly placed in the basket suddenly became vulnerable. The sharp sound of a needle piercing the package stripped Autumn of another trace of a smile and released a thin stream of milk, slowly trickling over the table's edge. Shocked, Lily felt the injustice of the moment clearly, as if time slowed down, permitting her to feel every drop and every emotion. Autumn, with a raised eyebrow, offered compensation, promising to let her go ahead in line. But this was exactly where the lie and tension hid. The crowd behind Lily was growing restless. Feather-soft nostrils flared as the girl's voice broke with indignation. That was the last straw. Lily's voice trembled, but sounded firm enough not to be ignored. The checkout became a battleground between two worlds, the familiar and the mysterious, the warm and the cold. Invisible threads wove fates together,
revealing secrets of the past. Returning home brought Lily a new revelation. Antonia Valeria, her mother, was comfortably settled in an armchair surrounded by a pile of old photographs. Among them, Lily noticed a face resembling the cashier Autumn. The piercing look of a woman in a black headscarf stared directly from the photo, as if inviting her into a realm of mysteries and puzzles. Shock and unfamiliar unease overwhelmed Lily Collins as she unearthed memories from her childhood about a strange tale her grandmother, Grace Collins, had shared. Antonia Valeria, always wise and composed, tried to calm her daughter's fears. She insisted that no mysterious women had existed since her grandmother's time. It was all merely a creation of imagination and old folklore. Yet Lily felt the book of the past was just being slightly opened. The picture formed from fragments of family stories was gaining vivid new shades. Her voice trembled as she recounted the events in the store, describing the pendant and the unclear fears, while her mother sought comforting words. Still, Lily could not forget the shine of the pendant and the ominous spark in Autumn's eyes. That strange amulet unexpectedly appeared in family stories too, taking on the role of a puzzle piece that needed assembling until completion. Secretly, she searched her own home and found the pendant strikingly similar to the one worn by the cashier. No, this was not a simple coincidence, but the companion of fate leading her into the unknown. Reluctantly yet resolutely, Lily went to the cemetery, where she hid this emblem of the past, waiting for the secret to reveal itself gradually. Past and present interwove like a web. Although Lily no longer saw Autumn in the store, her image lingered in her mind, like a ghost that would not vanish without answers. Was she a frantic woman, as her grandmother described, or merely a product of an overactive imagination and magnetic disturbances heightening inner anxieties and fears? The answers were still ahead, and the journey toward them continued. The evening promised to be captivating and full of unexpected encounters. The approaching night wrapped the city in a gentle dusk where sounds and scents intertwined. Lily felt the breath of a mysterious world all around her. The clear voice of Nicholas Kuzmin, a passerby, offered to help shed light on past mysteries. Darcy Volkov, the witness to the events, was preparing to share her truth, while the enigmatic Theophilus Ladislaus gazed from an old photograph with unknown wisdom. What would happen next? Soon, everything would become clearer, and Lily was ready to face the truth directly. Farewell and a new chapter. That evening, Lily Collins went to the store, unaware that a simple purchase of milk would change her entire perception. She placed the last Davidson brand carton into her basket and headed toward the checkouts where two queues were forming. One cashier was busy. Lily chose the shorter line, but then a delay occurred. The new cashier, Autumn Zimmer with the flushed face, cursed as she pulled apart from the machine, causing some customers to switch to another checkout. Lily was close enough to witness the entire scene clearly. Suddenly, a strange ripple appeared on Autumn's face, similar to interference on a television screen. Lily closed her eyes and recalled the story from her grandmother Grace Collins. Once her grandmother had expelled a woman from their home, a woman known as possessed. Priest Ignatius Parker had been called then,
but the woman beat him. This story had lingered in Lily's mind since childhood as a mysterious secret. At that moment she realized this cashier was no ordinary person. Autumn kept gently stroking the pendant with the number 13, as if afraid it might slip away. When the cashier finally fixed the machine, the line exhaled in relief. Yet, as Lily Collins approached the checkout, a growing unease settled in. The register, the pendant, and that elusive glance all seemed strangely mesmerizing. Touching the pendant, Autumn carefully picked up a carton of milk and pierced it with a pin. A thin stream of milk flowed out. The cashier anxiously asked Lily to get another carton, promising to serve her immediately afterward. Lily could hardly believe what she was seeing. "You were the one who poked it," she said in disbelief. Autumn smirked, saying there was nothing she could do about it. Their conversation was interrupted by the impatient crowd demanding the line to move on. With a mocking tone, Lily called Autumn crazy, turned away, and headed toward the exit. Later that evening, at home, Lily's mother, Antonia Valeria, was sorting through old photographs. Lily spotted a familiar face in a graduation picture standing beside her grandmother, Grace Collins. The woman in the black scarf carried an eerie presence. Lily gasped, recognizing that woman as the cashier Autumn. Putting on her glasses, Antonia Valeria shook her head. She said she saw no one wearing a black scarf in the photos and dismissed Lily's imagination. Reminding her of the story her mother had shared about a possessed woman from their village. The priest Ignatius Parker was also mentioned in that tale. Antonia concluded that such women no longer existed and urged Lily not to fantasize. Yet Lily felt differently. Her hands trembled as she whispered about Autumn at the store. To distract her, Antonia asked for help in finding a pendant left behind by her own mother. Lily Collins paused, noticing that the pendant with the number 13 sounded far too familiar. Her mother expressed surprise, asking where her daughter could have gained such knowledge. Lily felt a sudden chill and quickly tried to divert the conversation by helping her mother search for the pendant. Soon, the precious item was found beneath Lily's bed, but she kept it a secret from her mother, quietly taking the jewelry and burying it near a grave in the cemetery. In the days that followed, Lily did not encounter Autumn near the store, yet the girl lingered in her thoughts, while the photograph continued to draw attention and stir unease. It was at that moment that Nicholas Kuzmin appeared in Lily's life, a passing stranger, who by a fortunate coincidence would assist her in unraveling the mysteries hidden behind forgotten surnames and long-held family legends. The secret of Theophilus Ladislaus and the photograph marked only the beginning of Lily's journey into the past. Darcy Volkov, a witness to events from a distant time, would one day reveal even more, but only after Lily pierced through the layers of truth fueled by ancestral tales. The path to discovery passed through the words of her grandmother Grace Collins and the stories told by her mother, which held many enigmas, both spiritual and earthly. The story of the possessed woman, the priest Ignatius Parker, who had been beaten, the enigmatic pendant with the number 13, and the black scarf bearing the photograph, slowly formed a vivid picture of the past
where the lives of several generations intertwined. Lily was no longer merely a shopper buying milk. She had become the keeper of a family secret. Her thoughts returned more often to the cobalt blue of autumn's cold gaze and her peculiar behavior, weaving together a haunting reflection of what was yet to be uncovered. It felt as if on the edge between this world and another, not only humans existed, but also something else that sparked fear and confusion. With every new detail and each glance at the old photograph, the girl relived those moments that once seemed like a fairy tale, a legend or a terrifying dream. Yet she understood that it was far more real than it appeared. Soon she was destined to meet Nicholas Kuzmin, whose expertise and knowledge could help her uncover the family's secret hidden beneath layers of time. Grasping the full depth of what had happened, Lily Collins felt ready to move forward, despite her fear and uncertainty. The next chapter of her life promised to be filled with intense emotions, revelations, and fresh questions she was determined to answer. Meanwhile, the ancient pendant sparkled cheerfully in Lily's palm, reminding her that everything was just beginning, and that past and present were intertwined by a delicate thread of mystery and enigma. Deep within her heart, the memories and secrets were quietly unearthed, allowing their mysteries to gradually unfold. Lily sensed that farewells did not always mark an end. Sometimes they signified the start of a new journey, and soon everything would change.